Hello, I'm Brittany Marshall. On this edition of Commuter Connections, MDOT Administrator Kevin Quinn joins us for a look at the new Camden Station in downtown Baltimore. We've got an update on the region's new pilot service to Guinness Brewery, and MDOT shows us your best options to the upcoming Baltimore Book Festival in Light City. Professor Vern takes us inside the Metro Subway Link Wayside Energy Capture and Storage System, and we congratulate the winners of the 2019 MDOT Bus Rodeo. And for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we meet two MDOT employees who will share their journeys of battling the disease and the importance of regular screenings, all here on Commuter Connections. Through the support of Maryland Governor Larry Hogan and the Maryland Department of Transportation, a new Camden Station is officially open to riders in downtown Baltimore. The new station enhances the transit experience for MARC and light rail link customers with a new design and amenities. MDOT Administrator Kevin Quinn joins us with a look at this facility. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Could you tell me first, why was there a need to renovate this Camden Station?
Sure. So, what was in place there for so many years was a temporary station put there around 30 years ago. And so it's been needed to be replaced for quite some time. We needed to upgrade some of the electrical systems in there and really provide just a better experience for our riders.
So tell me about those upgrades.
Brand new station, fantastic, really nice, airy waiting area for our riders. Lots of light. It's indoors now, so that's a big one for us. So air conditioned, right? There's a beautiful kind of historic mural of the city that's right there. Folks, from a passenger amenity perspective, folks will also have nice chairs to sit on that have power outlets. So, people need to charge their phones these days, and so you've got power outlets there waiting for them as well. So our police have a substation there, restroom facilities. I mean, it's just a complete upgrade of a station.
And can you tell me about it being environmentally friendly?
Yeah, so we are pursuing LEED certification for that building. It's the highest standard of environmental friendliness, and whether that's the plumbing or the lighting or any of that. And so we're absolutely thrilled to be pursuing that LEED certification.
And how long did it take to renovate this station, and how much did it cost?
So it was right around $7 million, and we did it in partnership with the Maryland Stadium Authority. It was a fantastic partnership of our engineers, their engineers, construction crews, and took a little under 12 months, just under a year to get this constructed, and we're so thrilled about it.
And the grand opening of the station, it was a big day for MDOT. Could you tell us just how it felt to have Secretary Pete Ron there and the importance of it?
Yeah, so back on September 12th, we all met there. We had a big ribbon cutting with Secretary Pete Ron, as well as the Executive Director of the Maryland Stadium Authority, Michael Friends. And so the three of us were there to cut the ribbon. We had gorgeous weather, plenty of staffers there that had been waiting for years to really see this project come to fruition. And so to have such a great result, everybody was just so thrilled.
And what has the response been from the commuters?
Our riders are extremely happy with this. Having air-conditioned facilities to wait in for the MARC train, being able to charge their phones, use the restroom, all things they couldn't really do before. They're loving it.
And this station is not just a gateway into Baltimore, but it has a huge, rich history. Can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. The station was originally constructed back in 1856, and it's one of the longest continuously operated railroad terminals in the United States. So a lot of history there. President Abraham Lincoln actually traveled through the station on the way to his inauguration, again going to the Gettysburg, when he was delivering the Gettysburg Address, and then also to his final resting place in Springfield, Illinois. Lincoln passed through there. So, just a tremendous amount of rich history. And then, more recently, we now have Camden Yards there. And so to have a station that really reflects that history, that reflects, now being next to the warehouse and Camden Yards, just lots of history to build on and to grow from.
And also, this is part of many more investments through MDOT that will be seen in the near future. Can you tell us about some more of those?
Yeah, I think this follows a great pattern of investments that we're making right now in both stations and in vehicles. We have this station we just opened up. We're pretty close to opening up the BWI rail station as well, which has needed some upgrades for quite some time. And we're also investing in vehicles. Our riders, that's what our riders are taking, to get to work every day, to get to appointments. And so we're spending around $400 million on our Metro rail rail cars, another 160 overhauling our light rail vehicles, around $200 million on buses for the next 5 years. You know, we're making continuous, really solid investments in the infrastructure and in the vehicles all around the city serving our riders.
Enhancing the transit experience.
Absolutely.
And could you tell me just how viewers can learn more about the Camden Station or any of these investments?
Folks can go to our website, mta.maryland.gov, and can go there. They can also go check out the Camden Station for themselves. Really encouraging folks to get out there, check out the station. We got plenty of maps and schedules there. Check it out for yourself. You're going to love it.
Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
In an effort to serve emerging job centers, MDOT launched a new pilot service to Guinness Brewery. It's been up and running for about a month now, and Commuter Connections visited the Guinness facility to check out the new CityLink Yellow route.
MDOT has completed a successful launch of its new pilot service to the Guinness Open Gate Brewery in Halethorne.
This service is a pilot of the CityLink Yellow to connect both employees and visitors to the first Guinness Brewery outside of Ireland. The service has been well received so far since its inception in early September with the fall service change. This pilot's helping both employees and visitors access the site that previously didn't have transit options.
The CityLink Yellow connects visitors and employees from downtown Baltimore directly to the site.
We do about 35,000 guests through these gates a month. And you know, we're always looking at good ways to move people through the site and bring them to the site so they can experience Guinness here. And working with the MTA just made perfect sense to get a bus line here, not only for our guests, but for our staff as well.
MTA will be continuously evaluating the additional line with an eye towards giving the rider the best possible service.
During this pilot project, we are able to look at data throughout the entire course of the service that's provided, looking at ridership, talking to operators, talking to employees, and really getting a sense of how the service is best utilized. We will incorporate this into our public hearing process in spring of 2020, with the changes becoming permanent in fall of 2020 for the fall service change.
A one-way trip on the Yellow takes about 30 to 40 minutes. Once you make the trip, you'll find an abundance of things to do.
So the actual total site dates back to 1933. It's 62 acres and it backs up to the Patapsco Greenway. So this has been a major piece of Maryland history for a long time. Our Guinness facility itself has a full tap room with over 20 beers on tap. We've also got a full restaurant that's open Thursday through Sunday. We offer tours. It's a really, really incredible experience that you should come check out.
You've got plenty of opportunities to check it out. The CityLink Yellow provides 58 weekly trips, including 7 on Saturday and 6 on Sunday.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we will be joined by 2 MTA employees sharing their journey of battling the disease.
That's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextsstopwrecks.org.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time where we honor all those who have battled breast cancer and emphasize the importance of early detection and regular screenings. Now we are joined by 2 MTA employees here to share their personal stories. We welcome bus operator Farina Bundy and MTA Administrative Assistant Zena Williams. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you for having me.
And Ms. Bundy, could you tell me, you just got back to work after chemotherapy treatment. Could you tell me just how does it feel to be back and tell us your journey?
It's a good journey, even the second time around. My first diagnosis was in August 2012. My normal routine mammogram, they seen some abnormalities. So we went further with a biopsy. They gave me a call back, advanced radiology, and the doctor told me that I did indeed have breast cancer in my right breast. I was at work. I went off to the side to myself so I can absorb what I just heard. And of course, I broke down, cried. Superintendent at the time was Clash, and he came over and got me, took me in the office. And I told him what I just heard. So my mom came and got me. She asked me what did I want her to do, and I was crying. I was like, just take me to my best friend. And by the time I got there, my kids, my best friends, my sister, everybody was there at her salon.
For support.
for support.
And you were able to get through that first bout with cancer.
I didn't know what to expect, but of course, when I did cry, it's because I didn't know. I always went by what I heard about it. So that took over more than me knowing what was actually going on with me. So I just told my family and friends that day that they all cried. I stopped crying. And I said, look, what I give off is what I want back. I can't do this with all of y'all crying.
And here you are now, sitting
And
here.
I'm here now. It came back August 2018. I did the bilateral mastectomy, chemo and radiation, reconstruction. I have done all of that. And I'm continuing to do chemo the second time around. So the second time I was familiar, meaning I did ask a question like, why? What did I do wrong that it came back the second time? And then after that, I was just determined. I want to live. So I feel as though my positive energy and my positive attitude has kept me this long.
And education and knowing more helped you through the second as far so far.
Yes, I know I'm probably jumping the gun, but I'm day one diagnosed, I was already stage 4. So, quote unquote, I'm not supposed to be here, but God has the last say, last word, and I'm still here shining, keeping it moving.
And still working, still here.
Yes.
Still a smiling face for everyone.
Ain't nothing changed about me. It didn't change my attitude, my mood, nothing.
And Ms. Zena, could you tell us about your experience? You still here, smiling, just as happy?
I was diagnosed in 2006, but when I was diagnosed, I had already lost my mother to breast cancer in 1993. She was stage 4. So when I heard that I had breast cancer, I just thought it was a death sentence for me. And my doctor wanted me to come to see him, not my internal medicine. So he started me with doing all my tests, blood work and everything. And then I went to see the Dr. Beatty, who did my initial to remove the breast cancer. So I had a consultation with her before I did anything. And she had told me I should have both breasts removed because 99% of the time it'll come back. So I'm glad I did because after they were removed, I had abnormal cells in my right breast, but I initially had the cancer in my left. So I've had both breasts removed. I took chemo. I had reconstruction surgery a year later, and then I was supposed to take tamoxifen, but I couldn't, so I wound up taking Lupron.
But you're here now.
I'm here.
You're here, and how long have you been a survivor?
13 years. Yeah, it is.
And you guys talk about hearing about it and it being a death sentence for you guys in your head. You just didn't know what to think. For other women who are getting that phone call, or men who are getting that phone call, kind of what is your advice to them since you've already been through it?
I would say pray. Get a very good medical team, listen to them, give your input as well, and just be positive. I know it's scary, but just be positive and keep the faith and pray, because you'll go a long way. I did.
And how important is it, Ms. Zena, for people to have regular screenings and make sure that they are checking in with their doctor as much as possible?
It's very important that you go to your doctor yearly, have your mammogram, get tested, and do whatever they want. I've had ultrasounds and all that before I was diagnosed, so please go to your doctor. Some people say they don't want to know, but you do. You want to know.
And how has your support system been for you?
My support system has been good. My husband and my 2 daughters, because both of them was in the medical field, they supported me a lot and took me to my appointments and stuff. But when they was like, okay, Ma, it's time to go back to work, I'm like, But I had been off at 9 months at the time, so I was kind of ready to. So it worked out, and they was there every step of the way.
And could you tell me, how does it feel to be back at work?
I couldn't wait to get back at work. As much as you be tired of your job, but I couldn't wait because I'm able, and I'm glad that I can this second time around. So I'm gonna just keep it moving.
Thank you all so much for joining us. You guys are strong women, and hopefully your stories will help others. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And up next, MDOT is your best ride to the popular Baltimore Book Festival and Light City activities. We'll tell you all about your transit options up next.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
One of the most highly anticipated events of the fall season is the Baltimore Book Festival in Light City. Spectators from all around the region come to Baltimore for all the fun and excitement. And joining us with all you need to know on these events is Baltimore Promotion and Arts Chief Operating Officer and Festivals Director, Kathleen Hornick. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So good to have you here. Can you tell us, for people who are not familiar with the Baltimore Book Festival in Light City, tell us more about it.
Well, we're really excited. For the first time ever, we've combined those two marquee events into one amazing festival full of light and literature. So the Baltimore Book Festival features more than 200 authors speaking on 10 literary stages. We have more than 100 exhibitors in our literary marketplace. So book nerds unite. It's the perfect place for shopping. And then at night, it gets even better because we have these amazing works of light art coming to us from all around the world. The festival is from November 1st through the 10th. Our first weekend kicks off with most of our book festival activities, and then because daylight savings time ends on Saturday, November 2nd, overnight, the light art will come on around 5 o'clock.
And tell me a little bit more about the light work. You were saying, how can people see it? Where is it available?
So they are sculptures all around the harbor promenade. This year we received 125 proposals, artists from 5 continents all vying for a slot to be a part of Light City. We've narrowed that down to about 20 works. About half of those are coming to us internationally, and then we're really proud of the fact that the other 10 are new commissions for Baltimore artists.
And other than Light City, the book festival, huge event. You said so many authors have their books there. Tell me more about that.
Well, this year we have an amazing lineup. Carla Hall, the celebrity chef, is with us. Chef Sam Talbot, who's a leading health advocate and a member of the type 1 diabetic community. Actor, author, and activist Hill Harper is with us. Ibram Kendi, whose new book, How to Be an Anti-Racist, has been all over the New York Times bestseller list. Hundreds of authors, as I said, on 10 stages. And the best part is all of these appearances are free and open to the public.
And where can people go to be part of the book festival?
Come down to the harbor. Our exhibitor tents start near the Maryland Science Center and line the harbor promenade. Many of our literary stages are inside the USM Columbus Center on Pier 5 near the aquarium, but there are activities all along the waterfront.
And what's the most popular part of the book festival? Is it the appearance from the authors, or is it just people being able to just find an array of books?
It's really the energy of the book festival. We attract so many thought leaders and innovators, both locally, nationally, and all of the authors at our book festival do appearances so that the readers and the authors can interact. We don't have any author who's just coming to the book festival to sell and sign their book, although they're happy to do that as well. So it's really about these dynamic conversations that happen both with festival goers, but also the authors who are with us.
And other than the books and the literature, and the lights. We were also talking about live music.
Of course, you can't have a great party without music and food and drink, and we have all of that. Local bands on our Brilliant Baltimore stage in West Shore Park, a delicious offering of local food vendors, beer, wine, specialty cocktails. We have a little something warm planned for folks just in case it's cool during the evening. So a full experience and of course, all the businesses downtown are looking forward to welcoming festival goers. Restaurants and bars and retailers are all offering specials and discounts.
And the live music and food, what days can people find that? Is that throughout the whole book festival?
Absolutely. The entire time, November 1st through the 10th, we're fully activated. We're open from 12 to 10 that first weekend, and then Monday through the 10th, we are open from 5 to 10.
And it has the best cost of them all, free.
Absolutely. We do have some ticketed events this year, which is new for us, for folks who want to enhance their experience, have a VIP meet and greet with some of our celebrity authors. But yes, admission to the festival is free and open to the public. It's part of our mission as the city's Arts Council to make sure that the arts are accessible for all.
And is there anything else you want to spotlight about these two events coming together for the first time?
Well, our theme this year is Brilliant Baltimore. So we're shining a light on all the positive things that are happening here in our great city. In addition to being at the Inner Harbor and downtown, we are in 19 neighborhoods through our Neighborhood Lights program. So library branches, community associations, everyone's a part of the party. You can find out about all of those activities on our website, which is brilliantbaltimore.com.
Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Look forward to being there this year.
Great.
Coming up next, a special Halloween visit with Professor Vern, dedicated to the Metro Subway Link Wayside Energy Capture and Storage System.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
It's time to visit Professor Vern, our eccentric but knowledgeable go-to person for an understanding of all things technical and scientific in transportation. On this edition of the program, Professor Vern meets up with MDOT Administrator Kevin Quinn for a look at the Metro Subway Link Wayside Energy Capture and Storage System.
Good morning, Professor Vern. You're not going to believe the dream I had last night.
Good morning, Administrator. Tell me about it.
Well, in my dream, I walked into your lab without knocking. Professor?
Pardon, oui, Sanson. Mon secret, ne pas été découvert. Jusqu'à maintenant. I was not expecting anyone.
Oh my God, is that you're drinking
Tomato juice. It's good for the teeth.
But I thought...
You can't believe everything you see on TV about us. Anyway, you will leave here and forget you ever saw me like this.
I will forget.
Wow, you have quite an imagination, Administrator.
What the?
Oh, that's the robot's Halloween costume.
Anyways, Professor Vern, I understand we have a system that captures and stores energy on our metro system. Can you help explain that?
Absolutely, Administrator. That's the Wayside Energy Capture and Storage System. But first, we need to discuss some basic motor theory as it relates to electrified rail cars. And I just happen to have a mock-up to demonstrate the principles involved.
Professor Vern, you always have the coolest mock-ups.
Yes. Now, a basic motor has two halves. The spinning part is called the rotor, and that's connected to the shaft. The other half is the stator, and that's part of the housing of the motor. You see, magnetic forces between the two halves of the motor push each other and cause it to spin. See here, when I place two magnets next to each other, that they push against each other. Now, motors use electromagnets, which are magnets created by taking a coil of wire and connecting electricity to it. Now see, when I place the magnet next to the coil of wire and apply electricity to it, observe what happens.
Wow, this reminds me of high school physics class.
Ah, yes. Now, recognize the front portion of a Metro rail car, and inside we have the rail car's traction motor. It's important to note that the traction motor actually has two jobs, with one being to propel the train and the other to act as a generator. See here when I have the motor switch in the propulsion position that I apply electricity to the motor and it spins the train wheel.
That makes sense, but how can a motor also be a generator?
Great question, Administrator. You see, motors convert electrical energy to mechanical energy, but it can also work in the opposite way. If you spin the shaft of a motor, it will generate electricity. Now see, when I place the motor switch in the regenerative braking position and I spin the train wheel, that the motor acts as a generator and it powers the light.
Cool, so when does a rail car's motor need to act as a generator?
The motor acts as a generator when we need it to help slow the train. This is called regenerative braking. You see, during braking, the spinning train wheels cause the motor to act as a generator, and it generates electricity, which helps slow the train. Now, most of this regenerative energy is lost. That is, up to now.
So that's when we grab the electricity that the train is giving off.
Administrator, that's such a colloquial description of the magnanimous events transpiring.
Sorry, Professor Verne. Please continue.
Yes, think nothing of it. Now, in regenerative braking, the traction motor acts as a generator and generates electricity, which is captured by the wayside energy capture and storage system.
Didn't I just say that?
I guess you did, Administrator. Bravo this time.
I need to see this operation in action.
Okay, let's go. Administrator, I've asked MDOT-MTA Metro Manager of Maintenance Eric Bowser to join us today.
Hi, Eric. Can you tell us about the benefits of this system?
Certainly, Mr. Quinn. The wayside energy capture and storage system saves a lot of energy and reduces our energy costs by $55,000 a year.
Administrator, observe the indicators on the unit. It's showing that the system is capturing and storing energy. This means a nearby train is doing regenerative braking.
That's fascinating. So how does it work, Professor Verne?
The system monitors the third rail, and when its voltage reaches a certain high level, this means a train is doing regenerative braking, and the system captures and stores the energy in supercapacitors.
Professor Verne, what is a supercapacitor?
Administrator, engineers use either capacitors or batteries to store energy. Capacitors are low-power, fast-acting devices, while batteries are high-power, but slower devices. A supercapacitor, also called an ultracapacitor, has the properties of both. It's a newer technology capacitor that's both a high-power, fast-acting device.
That's fascinating.
Administrator, now observe the indicators on the unit. It shows the system is discharging stored energy. This means a nearby train is taking off from a station. In this case, the third rail voltage dips, triggering the system to discharge energy.
Professor Verne, I can't thank you enough for explaining energy storage and capture to us today. Hey, you want to join me for lunch?
My pleasure. Thanks anyway. I'm kind of on a liquid diet right now.
Thanks, Professor Verne. And as we close, we want to give a special shout out to the winners of the MDOT-MTA Bus Rodeo. Congratulations to the Bush Bus Division operator Antoine Briscoe, the winner of this year's Bus Rodeo. Northwest Bus Division operator Leslie Hawkins came in second place, and Bush Bus Division operator Benny Williams came in third. The Cross Thread Maintenance Team won the bus maintenance competition. And a big congratulations to the Northwest Division's Lamar York, the winner of the 2019 Bus Rodeo Customer Service Competition. We recognize and honor each of these individuals for a job well done. And that brings us to the end of another edition of Commuter Connections. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.